Les interviews du doc, c'est maintenant sur Vinyl Time.
Eh ben, les amis, c'est un grand plaisir parce qu'on a la chance d'avoir le très grand un musicien hollandais, Arjen Anthony Lucassen, qui vient nous parler de son nouvel album qui arrive le 12 septembre. Songs No One Will Hear. Voilà, alors si on ne peut pas écouter les chansons, ça va être terrible. En tout cas, moi, j'ai écouté l'album, il est très spécial. Et puis, c'est un grand plaisir de pouvoir échanger avec Arjen en parlant de cet album notamment, et puis de sa musique en général. Arjen, thank you so much for accepting my invitation. It's really a great pleasure and honor to speak with you about a new release. Wow!
Yeah, another one.
yeah, clearly. And of course, I have one or two questions about everything coming from you since I discovered you with Vengeance a couple of weeks ago. I would like to say, no, it's a couple of years ago. And of course, speaking about so many good stuff and so many good songs. But of course, this one who is coming in the 12th of September is very particular because it looks like so dark, so black, so with different approach today. Where is coming the idea that nobody can listen this one?
Well, it's songs no one will hear is a line in the text.
Yeah.
So I hope a lot of people will hear this, so. But no, it's a story about what would people do if they knew they only had 5 months to live.
Yeah.
And the story is about Sanctuary Island, which is where the asteroid will hit the Earth. And a lot of people, they actually go to Sanctuary Island because they want to have first-class seats to the end of the world. And in the story, I am the character who goes to Sanctuary Island. I'll be sitting there on the beach. Even if the asteroid is just very close, I'll be sitting there on my beach with my doggy, just writing songs, and no one will ever hear those songs. So that's where it comes from.
Bah voilà, donc alors cet album, il arrive le 12 septembre, hein, donc il est très spécifique parce que comme il le dit, c'est un album qui est prévu pour on va dire, c'est qu'est-ce que vous ferez si vous restez 5 mois à faire, 5 mois à vivre, parce que on serait au courant qu'il y a un astéroïde qui est tombé sur la Terre. Et donc là, tout de suite, Arjen, il nous dit, voilà, vous venez sur l'île et puis vous êtes avec moi. Je suis assis en train de jouer de la guitare, je suis sur la plage avec l'astéroïde qui tombe et puis avec mon chien. Et puis j'écris des titres que personne ne pourra entendre. It would be a shame, Arjen, if nobody can hear your songs just after, because you have so fantastic songs coming from your mind since a long time right now. What came the idea to coming back at something with the 5 months before the end of the Earth and so on? Because right now it's not only the asteroid who is coming from us, but we have so many bad news from everywhere. So where came the idea? It's coming because you have some such different things coming with where we are today in the world, or maybe this is something that you have on your back.
Of course, that has to do with it. If you see all the misery that's happening in the world right now, it makes you think. Like, is this going to be the end? And what would I do if the end comes near? But I didn't want this album to be political. I didn't want to talk about wars or about pollution or whatever, because I think I'm a musician. It's my task to offer people escapism and not to confront them with the situation in the world today. I just don't think, as a musician, I'm qualified to do that. So there's a lot to read between the lines, of course, but in general, this is escapism, and as you will notice, or as you have heard, there's also a lot of humor in there. So I try to keep a positive look on the end of the world.
Bah voilà, vous l'avez compris. Alors, on va juste garder les mots de la fin. Arjen dit, il veut garder la partie humour dans ce disque, mais effectivement, avec tout ce qu'on entend à droite à gauche, c'était l'occasion de faire quelque chose autour de ça. Il y a beaucoup d'humour noir dans cet album. Il faut lire entre les lignes. Il est difficile à chroniquer pour l'instant. J'ai pas encore réussi à aller à la chronique, mais en tout cas, voilà, il voulait pas faire de politique. Comme il le dit, c'est un un artiste, il a voulu partager sa musique via ses idées. Et effectivement, tout ce qui est actuellement autour de ce qu'on entend est quelque chose qui a permis de faire cet album. Arjen, one thing, because today I don't make any review because I have to listen more. I listen 10 times this new record. It's so difficult to speak about everything right now. So I prefer to take more time to listen more and more. But we have so different style on this. We mix the pop, rock prog, electronic, of course, acoustic session. We have some particular musician playing with you. We have, as usual, some narration. It's look like a lot of mix of what you create since the beginning of Arjen Lucassen, because sometimes we're thinking about Star One, sometimes we're thinking about Aaron, sometimes we're thinking about some other project that you have on your back. So it's look like a good mix of different things coming from everywhere. And I think it's so difficult to speak about this one right now because
I understand.
So many, we have so many different lyrics, songs, approach. It would be what are you rating right now with this one for the people who have to discover, of course, the single right now, share with everybody. But what are you rating with this record? It's I'm pretty sure it's not your final CD and something like that.
No.
But what are you expecting? Because it's so difficult to listen this one because we have so many different things.
Well, ever since I was a kid, I loved albums that were eclectic. And I think it starts with the Beatles, the White Album, where you go from one extreme to the other. And I love that so much. And then later on, there were bands like Led Zeppelin. If you take Led Zeppelin 3, you go from folk to rock to blues to... I've always been a big fan of eclectic music. I want to be entertained. Queen is a good example too. You go from the year of 39 to Death on Two Legs, and I think it's all prog. Even the Beatles, and I think prog stands for adventurous music, and that's what I'm trying to do. I hate. Not I hate, but I would not want to repeat myself. I would not be like AC/DC or something. I could never do that. So even within one album, there's a lot of different styles. But also, if you compare my albums, you will see so many different projects. And I always say, like, Arion is the mothership. Arion has all these styles, but all the projects you just mentioned, they are little parts of Arion. So now and then I like to limit myself. You mentioned Star One. That's where I limit myself to the heavy side of Arion. Or I do in a project like Guild Machine, where it's more the atmospheric side of Arion. And, that keeps it interesting for me and for the fans.
Bah voilà, vous l'avez compris. Alors cet album, il faut l'appréhender, il faut l'écouter plusieurs fois. Il y a beaucoup de choses, hein, du prog, de l'électronique. Comme le dit Arjen, c'est voilà, il veut effectivement continuer à faire comme ils l'ont fait pour les Beatles, pour Queen, d'aller d'un extrême à l'autre, de faire des choses différentes et variées dans sa musique. Et il se restreint effectivement à la partie plus heavy, par exemple de Aaron, de Star One. On va parler aussi d'un autre projet qui m'avait très surpris il y a quelques temps. Et puis, c'est effectivement, si vous aimez un peu découvrir des choses comme le Led Zeppelin 3, le White Album des Beatles, bah, c'est dans l'esprit de ce que veut faire Arjen maintenant. Et cet album, il est vraiment très surprenant et vraiment, il faut l'écouter un bon moment. Et, alors, je le rappelle, il s'appelle Song No One Will Hear. Il arrive le 12 septembre via Inside Out. Et puis, c'est un bon, voilà, c'est un bon moment. One word, Arjen, before we coming back to this new record, because you surprised me with this release because you have so many different things on it. But since a couple of years, we surprised a lot your fans because 2 years ago, you coming back with something which is called Supersonic Revolution. And I like this classic rock part of this. And just before, just in middle of two, you have this live album coming in round of this supersonic. You have the live album coming. You have another one who is coming, and it's look like sometimes it's not so easy to see what is coming from Arjen, because it's sometimes it's very surprise.
I know. I like to surprise myself. And the thing is, I always plan ahead, you know. I always plan like, now I'm going to do this, but I always change my plans. So I don't even know myself what's going to be next.
Yeah.
I think the secret is to let it come organically, to let it come naturally. You know, just sit down, grab my guitar. I always have a guitar close, and record whatever I can, and then go to the studio and just see what happens, you know. And
Yeah,
it's the same with listening to music, you know. One day I can listen to Simon and Garfunkel, and the other day I'll be listening to Rammstein, you know. It's
it depends
it's
what is your feeling and what is your mind on
right.
Yeah.
Totally. I think it's such a shame if you limit yourself, you know, if you're like I only want to listen to metal, because you miss out on so many good music.
We have so many records right now, so sometimes it's difficult to follow everything. But
I know, it's impossible.
it's crazy. Ah, voilà, on parlait avec Arjen des projets. Donc, il y avait eu le Supersonic Revolution qui était arrivé il y a quelques temps avec, voilà, de la bonne surprise du classic rock. Et puis, entre deux, il y a eu le live qui était arrivé. Voilà, il y a eu le Star One, le Rival in Time aussi, qui était arrivé il n'y a pas très longtemps. Donc, il y a plein de choses différentes et variées dans la musique. Et comme le dit Arjen, il veut continuer à nous surprendre, à faire des choses variées. Il ne sait jamais s'arrêter. Comme il le dit, il peut écouter Simon and Garfunkel et juste après Rammstein. C'est voilà, c'est de la très bonne surprise. Arjen, one thing, of course, because I remember the fantastic concert in Tilburg a couple of years ago, and we shared this live album, and I would like to see you more on stage, not only on your country for a couple of days, but everywhere in Europe and maybe in festival and something like that. Do you plan something particular right now with these new records? And I would like to see you not only one time, but maybe 10 times. So
I'm very sorry I have to disappoint you, but those days are over. I really, I toured in the 80s and in the 90s. I toured for 15 years, only to find out that it was not really my lifestyle. And ever since I started Arion in 1993, I've become really recluse. You know, I don't travel anymore. I don't have holidays even. I'm always at home. I'm always in my studio. So yeah, sorry. The only way to see me live is every 2 years with Arion.
Yeah.
Where you know, we sell like 15,000 tickets to people from 65 countries. So yeah, I would have to say this album is songs no one will hear live. That's
so we have to coming back in Tilburg again. So we have to find a big venue for more people, I think.
In a way, I think it's kind of cozy in the 013. You know, we still have you can still see the people, and I like it there. I don't know why.
Voilà, vous l'avez compris. Alors j'ai essayé de taquiner un petit peu Arjen. Je sais qu'il tourne plus beaucoup, comme il le dit. Voilà, il reste plutôt reclus dans sa maison. Il joue, voilà, il fait plein de choses. Et puis, pour faire une tournée, il veut plus faire ça. Maintenant, on retournera tous les 2 ans à Tilburg voir Arjen. C'est toujours un plaisir de monter en Hollande pour le voir. And if we're coming back, Arjen, right now for this new release, you have again a lot of people with you. We have some invite like, of course, Robert, Marcella, Patty, Mick Miles with the narrators. And of course, we have some local people with you. So again, it's a great challenge to have everybody at the same time, or it's each time easy to send some music and so on and say, I would like to hear your voice.
These are people I've worked with 10, 20 years, so it's very easy. It's just one phone call and 5 minutes later you know, they'll be here. So no, it's very easy, and they're all very close friends.
Yeah.
Which is with Arion, it's different, you know, because then I invite people that I've never worked with, and that's logistic hell, you know.
Yeah.
Like on Revel of Time, I must have had 20 guests there, and it's very hard to get them together. But
Yeah.
for this solo album, I make it myself easy, you know. I do most of the vocals myself, which is easy.
Yeah.
And I work with people like Irene and Floor Jansen, who I've been working with for 25 years now. And they know me, I know them. We know exactly what we want. We know what we can do. So it's total luxury for me,
Uh,
this solo album.
you just plug and play, and that's all.
Yeah, really, when I invite Irene, I'm like, don't you want to hear the song? She says, no, no, I'll just come over and I'll sing.
Ah, bah, voilà, vous l'avez compris, c'est assez facile. Donc, il y a plein d'invités. Il y a Robert, Marcella Bovio, Patty Gulberg, Mick Miles, qui sont des gens avec qui Arjen joue souvent. C'est des gens avec qui c'est plus facile. Un coup de téléphone, ils sont 5 minutes après, ils sont dans le studio, ils peuvent enregistrer, ils écoutent, ils jouent vraiment ensemble. C'est vraiment, comme on vient de le dire, c'est vraiment du plug and play. C'est super facile. En plus, Arjen chante presque tout. Donc, c'est super facile de pouvoir faire ces albums. Et donc, cet album qui sont Songs No One Will Hear arrive. C'est un très, très bel album. Il y a 9 titres. Donc, le dernier s'appelle Your Final Songs. Arjen, which one do you want to hear on your final songs? Because you have created one which is called Your Final Song, but in your old thinking right now, which one do you want to hear if something is coming like the asteroid coming on the Earth? Do you have one song in particular that you want to hear with your dogs, with maybe some people?
You mean one of my own songs or one
Yeah,
of the songs
yeah.
in...
One song, I don't know, Back in Black, Highway to Hell.
Oh, okay,
I
okay,
don't
not
know.
one of my own songs.
Or maybe one song of Arion. I don't know because you have so many good songs on Arion.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't pick one of my own songs. No way. No. I would pick a pretty long song probably.
Yeah.
maybe maybe thick as a brick. Maybe it's 40 minutes, so that's good. Then I'll have 40 minutes to live.
Ok. Ok, bah voilà, donc sur le temps de le dernier morceau s'appelle Your Final Song, donc je demandais à Arjen s'il avait une chanson en particulier qu'il voulait entendre, bah, il prendrait un grand titre qui fait à peu près 14 minutes. Arjen, before we ending, of course, I remember when I listened for the first time into the Electric Castle. And that was one of my favorite albums of Arion. We create a lot of things with Star One. We create a lot of things with different way. But the first time when I listened into the Electric Castle was so huge. And this is maybe this record will open your world to my world. And again, thank you so much to create something like this, because it's for me one of the most important records coming from the everyone, from you and from a lot of people. And I'm pretty sure this one is really particular after the beginning of Final Experience, Actual Fantasy, and so many other ones like Universal Migrator. But I think the Electric Castle opened many doors for everything. Do you have the same thinking, or it's really in 1988? It's a long time ago. We are so old right now. When you think like that, you say, "Oh, I have something very particular with this record."
I think it was the most important album I made, especially because the Final Experiment was kind of a success, you know, moderate success, but Actual Fantasy was not a success at all. So it was almost the end of Arion.
Yeah.
You know, it was the record company say, okay, you can make one more album, and if that doesn't do well, you know, your career is over. So I had to make like a huge album. I had to put everything I have into it, and I had to have some big names on there, like Thijs van Leer and Anneke, and of course Fish. So I was very nervous to make the best album I could. And I remember I played it to the record company, and they were not so excited. They were like,
Wow.
yeah, it's fine. And I was like, oh, I can't do any better. This is all I can do. I can't do any better. And then the album was released, and then we saw it getting into the charts here in Holland. And that really was the start of my Arion career.
And of course, when you open something with welcome to the new dimension, it's each time something that is coming in my mind with your new records, because each time it's a new dimension of your works.
I try to, definitely.
With everything you created after, it's clearly each time this is a new page, new doors, and new dimension of your music. So it's
great.
Arjen, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. It would be a great pleasure to speak about your music again. It's great.
Always a pleasure, man.